Yes, we can.
Cool. Thanks a lot, Abhay. So I will ask a question. I mean, anyone from the audience, if you feel comfortable, you can answer. What do you think? How many opportunities do you need to have in order to transform your world?
Just one single one to get started.
Exactly. Exactly. Just one. And what is it? It can be yours for starters, right? Opportunity doesn't always have to be knocking your door. You can create your own opportunity. You can be your own opportunity advisor, or you can be your own opportunity guru. So, what I mean by opportunity is what we'll see in a little bit. But the reason why I'm saying this is it's not always about what we don't have, or what are the opportunities that are out there which I'm not knowing at the moment, or maybe I'm from a small town, or maybe I'm from a whatever it is. Maybe I'm a part of a small sector, or part of a small section where there is less of an understanding, or things like that. So whatever, there can be so many ifs and buts. But what I'm saying is what it takes to make that difference in your life, what it takes to make the transformation in your life, is that one opportunity that most likely you can create for yourself, for starters, at least to begin with. I mean, once you take that first bold step, I mean, everything else is automatically going to be aligned. If not, at least I would like to think so, right? So, another question: what unites you and the rest of the world today? What do you think unites the world? I mean, let's say now you know that there's one opportunity that needs to be there in order for you to transform your world. What do you think connects you and the rest of the world today? Guesses? Anybody?
Technology?
Exactly. That's two in a row. Is it the same person? Sorry, I'm not able to see the visual when I'm sharing my screen. So let me try to see here. Yeah. Who was that? Both times? The same person or different?
Hello, I'm Harshita.
Harshita. Nice.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you for your answers. That's correct. Technology. There are many other things possibly. I mean, we can talk about a lot of things like food, culture, this and that. But ultimately, how would you know? Like, how would you know about food today? When I mentioned today, it's mostly technology. I'm going to keep in this mode because I'm not able to see you if I want to. So that's why it's easy for me to swap between tabs. So let me know if you're not able to see something. I will go to slideshow mode again. So the one thing that connects us right now is technology. It could be anything. Technology in terms of social media, technology in terms of data, technology in terms of cloud, technology in terms of software engineering, technology in terms of using a product and doing your marketing, so technology in terms of automation, technology in terms of aviation, whatever. So it's technology that connects us to the rest of the world, right? You all agree. Now, what are some of the things that we can use? I mean, what are the things, some of the things today that we can consider as tools in order to accomplish, or in order to translate that one single opportunity that we can create for ourselves into a transformation that takes you to places that you want to go, or at least that takes you to the starting point of how you want to start, whether it's your career, or whether it's a career growth because you're already started your career, or it's something like, let's say you want to become an entrepreneur. So what are the things, tools and technology, or tools and utilities that are available, or things that we can understand as a set of things, sorry, things that you can consider as a set of tools that can transform your opportunity into growth, your opportunity into transformation, your opportunity into business, your opportunity into career growth, whatever it is that you want to achieve. So that is exactly what I'm going to talk about in the next few minutes. And if there is one thing that you would like to, or at least I would like for you to take away from the session, I would want you to understand that whatever, I mean, that opportunity that you can create for yourself has to start from learning, and there needs to be continuous learning. That is one thing, at least, that I would like to I think emphasize on at the start of the session itself, because I'm going to keep talking about it time and again throughout the session. But it's not the only thing. But if there is one thing that you would take away from the session, I think it should be that. So My topic today is transformation and opportunities in cloud for women in cloud. I would think, of course, we are having this talk around women centric discussion, or we are having this talk around what it takes to empower women in the area of technology. And Ruchita had some interesting numbers and interesting slides around where we are today and how we can progress ourselves and how communication plays an important role. What I would like to, so that's why I'm not sharing any of those stats or numbers because we are all aware. We know that we are in the path. We are progressing. Definitely, things have changed. So I would like to embrace and appreciate and acknowledge the difference, acknowledge the change, acknowledge the giant leap that we have taken over decades and where we are now. So whether it is men or women, I think these tools can help us translate that opportunity into transformation for your personal growth or career growth or whatever. So, five things: awareness, idea, communication, network, and learning, or CNL, data, and Google Cloud. So, these are the five things which is, cloud, particularly Google Cloud, are the five things that I want to touch upon today. So, awareness is this is your first tool, right? First of all, you need to know what you want to learn. Or learning awareness translates to learning for me. It could be different for different people. You could be attending sessions, you could be attending meetups, or you could be just attending some talks like this, or you could watch YouTube videos. Everything it starts from awareness. But how do you take that awareness to learning? There is no shortcut. All you have to do is you have to make a plan for yourself, have targeted and capsule sized learning, whether it is what you want to focus on. Do you want to do application development, or I'm talking in the field of software, but it doesn't have to be limited to that. Whether it is marketing that you want to do, that you're good at, identify. I'm not saying you need to have everything sorted out and you need to know what you're good at or best at and then start planning. No, it doesn't sometimes happen that way. You need to identify some areas which can help you learn, some areas where you can start planning your learning and start identifying the material, the certification, or whatever you want to do, and then set a target. Because any plan without a date or without a deadline is just a dream, right? It's not actually a plan. You're not going to execute it. So have a goal, have a deadline to it. Start learning and make sure you start with an end in mind, meaning the end of your learning could be an implementation of something of some sort. If you're talking about software engineering or software development or something of that sort, or if it's a marketing related course, what is your end? Or what are you going to do? Is there a pet project in mind? Can you start or shape your learning towards that? So think of those things and start aligning. Put a calendar in place, and that's why I say date learning, because learning has to be there lifelong. So you have to learn to date learning as part of your life, and continuously, whether you are starting your career or whether you're midway through your career or you're looking for career growth. What I'd say is where you are. It doesn't. Career growth for me is personally, are you happy? Are you innovating? Are you passionate about what you're doing today? It's not about titles. It's not about job roles. It's not about like growing in a ladder just for the sake of it. It has to be something that you want to do. It has to be something that you inherently feel like, okay, this is what I'm meant to do. This is exactly what I want to do. So don't. Not everything is a cookie cutter option or opportunity available for everyone. Every person is different. For one person, it could be going through that ladder might be an amazing opportunity. For another person, that would be like, okay, that's boring. I want to do something out of the blue. I want to, sorry, out of the box. I want to do, sorry, outside the box. I want to do something. All of a sudden, I just want to go start my own initiative, or I want to join an NGO. I want to do something that's completely transformational, or that's completely different to what I was doing all this time. So whatever it is, make sure you are on the right path in terms of learning. So because I am from a software engineering background since my initial stage, I always wanted to do programming. That is not something I ended up doing. It's not something that I was forced into or something. I always wanted since my class 9. I used to be a coder. I used to be programming, and that's something that I was passionate about. And I knew that's something that I wanted to do, and that's why I did my software computer science engineering, and that's how my career began. And that's some of the things that one of the things that I've been doing in all my 16 years, like doing software engineering, software development, programming. and all that, in addition to doing data management, master data management, and being in leadership roles, and now being a developer advocate in Google. So that is something that has helped me throughout, which is learning and knowing where you're going with it, having a goal and having pet projects. I know when people say, "Do you have pet projects, or do you know the end in mind? Do you have a implementation in mind? Like, how are you going to show that you've learned this?" It's not always about certification, but having a certification helps because that helps you acknowledge or get a what do you call that? Test yourself about what you have learned. So I wouldn't discourage certification, but at the same time, I wouldn't push that either. But pet project is important. I know it's difficult for people who are already who are working, who have a full time job, and then managing home, and then doing other hobbies, and still wanting to do something in your new learning. It would be difficult, but that is where you need to strike a balance. Understand how you can implement something in something new that you have learned that contributes to your work as well, that is aligned, and bring out solutions, communicate, which we'll look at in a little bit. And that is how I always did. Like, I always kept learning, and whatever I learned I implemented in my work, and that helped me be passionate. Every day I woke up to a new solution. Every day I woke up to something that I like to do, not just something I'm asked to do. So create that for yourself. It's easy to say, it's easier said than done. And I also see the other side. It's very common for us to just dismiss this fact and say that's not always possible. We are asked to do specific things. People don't encourage when we do. But see, it's all about being people magnet. I have to say that. Like, you have to know how to communicate, but at the same time you have to know how to establish a win-win situation. It's not always about you, or me for that matter. It's not always about us. It's about how you can contribute and align with your organization's OKRs, align with your team's OKRs, align with your leadership's OKRs. So thinking from that perspective, align your learning and make sure you're also not falling out of interest in the course of it. So that is exactly what I'd like to say when I talk about learning. The next one is meet idea. So the second topic, which I said after learning, is idea. So what I would think is every day, every single day in and day out, whatever you're going through, whether it is a personal life situation or professional life situation, or even at work, or you're mentoring somebody, or you're just posting something on Instagram, or you're looking at something on Instagram, or for that matter, any social media, or you're talking to somebody, just look at every single aspect of your life with curiosity. And if you want to talk in spiritual terms, because I'm also a yoga instructor, I am very much, I look at things always in that perspective as well. So kindly excuse me if that is bothersome, but curiosity also translates to being conscious, being present, doing paying attention to what you're exactly doing at the moment. So basically, when you're approaching with a situation, think of look at it as a different as a link, look at it as a curious problem to solve, or look at it as a not necessarily a problem to solve. Just look at it with curiosity, look at it with consciousness, see what can be different, or why it is the way it is. Just be curious in general, because that not only helps in learning, but that also gives you new ideas if you want to become an entrepreneur, or you want to contribute something, or you want to solve a problem differently at work or even at home. So think about it that way, and embrace your intuitions about the problems. So for example, I have some instincts about, okay, this is a problem. Like, why am I for example, um, even at work, I think there are some situations where I've looked at, in my previous organization and even in my current organization, when I'm doing something, or when I'm experimenting some solution based on some of the products that we create. If I'm encountered or run into some problem or run into a situation, rather than finding a workaround for it, which will anyway, being a software developer, which I will anyway end up doing, I'll find a workaround, or I'll have to find a workaround to solve the problem, because I also believe in go getting it rather than just complaining. But at the same time, look at it as an opportunity to say, hey, my instinct says this is wrong, this is not convenient. Why can't it be different? So raise that, keep that as an idea. So that is how. All the patents that I've submitted in the past have been a result of my instincts for problems. Like, why can't it be different? Why is it only this much? Why shouldn't it be this way? So that's how most of my ideas have been born or conceived. So that is always, like, I've always embraced my inconveniences or instincts about certain things, and I recognize those problems. The next one is to recognize them as opportunities. So a problem is not like, okay, I'm complaining about it and dropping the ball there and saying, I'm done. I'm not doing it. That's it. So you don't quit on it. I didn't recognize them as opportunities. Like either you can submit an idea or you can work on it if you're working for somebody, or if it's your own organization, you can call for ideas and work on it as opportunities. Or if it's just a real world problem, just grab a bunch of people who are like minded and sit and discuss, have a coffee over discussing opportunities for that particular situation that you just ran into. And ultimately be kind. The reason why I say that it is important is because, see, no matter what, how big you are technically, or whatever we are solving from day to day life, or how accomplished we are, we can never identify problems, or we can never identify opportunities in a situation for others unless we are empathetic. Unless we are empathetic about the situation. The other simple word for that is kind. Unless we are kind about the situation, or non-judgmental way of looking at things. So the real world example for this, that is, I don't know how many of you know Shantanu Naidu, who is Ratan Tata, Mr. Ratan Tata's secretary, assistant, or whatnot, manager. He's everything. He's the all-rounder of Tata Industry Group of industries right now. And all he did was he was a teenager, or in his late teens, or he just finished his bachelor's or something like that, when he came up with an idea. And he was not Mr. Ratan Tata's manager or something. He was just somebody, some random kid who was just in his college roaming around with his friends. And all he identified was he saw these stray dogs getting ran over by vehicles past midnight, because it's very dark, there's no lights and all that. So he wanted to find a solution, because obviously he was empathetic, and he was like, okay, I have to do something. But it's not like I can go and install lights everywhere. I mean, yeah, that is one way to approach it. You can probably work with an NGO, or you can work with the government, you can work with an organization, or no matter what. I mean, people are going to run over no matter what if they have to. So what he did was he innovated, he created a solution for that. He created this tags for dogs, which would I think which had dynamo in them or something like that, which will shine in the night. And that saved, I mean, he had certain number that was shown later on, that he actually talked about later on, after he became this celebrity that he is right now. So he was able to save stray dogs. There was a reasonable number that was really huge, that were saved from being ran over as compared to the previous year. So that is really a record in itself, and it didn't take so much. He was not working at that time. It was just a collection of a few of his friends' pocket money and his own to come up with a solution like that. It didn't take rocket science. It didn't take something really complicated. All it took was some empathy and thinking outside the box. And that incident was what turned Mr. Ratan Tata's head towards this kid, and he said, go and finish whatever you're planning to do next and then come join me. That's it. That is how you transform your idea into, or whatever, where you are currently, or transform your situation into an opportunity. And that's how you transform an idea. And that's how you create a niche for yourself, create a space for yourself. That's it. All it took was just being kind. That's it, right? So, okay. The next one that I have for you is be a leader. Now, being a leader doesn't mean that you have to have a title, or you have to be a certain way, or you have to be acknowledged by somebody to be a leader. Everybody has that inherent capability, or at least, I mean, if you recognize that, okay, no, I don't want to do that. I want to be, I'm good at executing. I'm good at following instructions. Let me just do it. That's fine. I mean, know yourself. That's important. If you know your limitations, if you know what you're working towards, you're a leader already. You will set your examples. You are a leader in executing things. You are a leader in following instructions. So definitely identify what suits you the best. What is your strength and all. So definitely you need to do that. But when I say be a leader, the CNL, or what I call the CNL, it's just a thing that I created. Not for today. It's generally something that I remind myself time and again, because I used to be this introverted girl who will not even say what my name was when people approached me and said, "What's your name?" When I was little, I just turned my head away, because that's how much of an introvert I was. But now I speak. I speak for impact. I think I do. I mean, I'm not saying that I'm a speaker, but I speak when I have to, or when I get to, because I really embrace and appreciate the opportunity. So I mean, that did not. Yeah, of course, it took learning. I did some courses. I did. I mean, my previous organization, when I was when I was working there, and when I had some leadership opportunities. Of course, they included me or involved me in some of the training that had communication as the core or the essence of the training itself. So learning is really important. If you ask me, if personally, if somebody asks me or for myself, how can I become effective in communicating or fearless in communicating? There's no shortcut. Go back to the first slide, learn. That is the one thing I want you to take back. Learn how to do it. There are so many courses. People have already gone through problems. So go through Udemy, take some cheap courses like 100 rupees, 250, or whatnot. There are so many courses available out there. There are so many tips and tricks that help you on effective communication or communicating for impact, or how do you influence, or how to just be a people magnet. There is an amazing book called How to Be a People Magnet. Just buy that book and read. Is it selfish to be a people magnet? Yeah, but that's okay. I mean, if you're empathetic and you're being a people magnet, you're the person that the world is looking for. And there's nothing wrong in being a people magnet. Some people find it cheesy when I say that, but I don't think that's wrong. To be a people magnet, I think reading. I mean, if you train yourself to be a certain way, I think you can achieve that. Some people inherently have that. I'm not that person. For me, I need training for everything because I know what I like to do. Something strikes my interest, I will go and do it, and I learn how to do it. It's not like I'm born genius. It's not like I'm a born musician, or if I'm not a born pilot or something. I take lessons for everything. So that's why I trading the word learning. But anyway, coming back to CNL, it's communication, networking, and leadership. Let me see if I'm on track with time. Yeah. So communicate for impact. So you can communicate, you can talk, and you can communicate. When you communicate, the word I use is impact rather than influence, because you're not there to influence or manipulate or whatever that is, but you're there to create an impact. When you're saying like four words, not that you should not say much words, whatever it is that you want to communicate, make sure it has an impact for yourself, for the recipients, for the audience right there, and also for, if it's your organization, make sure there is an impact for them. Why would they listen to you? What are the three things that they'll take away from it, or what are the three things that you can get from it, or or your team can accomplish together? So think of all that before you say something. So I learned it the hard way, because I used to be that unpolished, like raw person who was thinking in my head all about coding, thinking about programming. I'll just go and talk about, hey, this is not how we should do it. This is how we should do it. Why? Why would they listen to you? Why would someone who's solved something will sit and listen to you that this is another way to do it? What is in it for them? They'll just hate you if anything. It's like, who do you think you are? So don't do that. That I learned the hard way. But still, I learned. The thing is, I realized what my problems were. It took me, again, going back to being a yoga instructor or yoga practitioner, for me, that being conscious and being aware of what I'm saying and how to communicate, that really helped me a lot. So make sure it's impactful. Make sure you have the whys, why you're saying what you're saying, how you're going to accomplish whatever you're saying, how you're going to do it, or how the other person is going to do it, and what the hell do you want the person to do. Make sure you have answers to this before you start saying anything. So that is just a small shortcut for communication, but there is a lot. I'm not a communication trainer. I'm just giving you one no 0.001% of what I learned about communication. There's so much content and material out there. Go back and learn that. I'm just giving you something that you can take back in this 20-30 minutes that I am with you. The next one is participating in data events, hackathons, meetups. I would encourage you to do that, because if you see, you don't have to pay for events. I mean, I'm not saying go and spend your money on all these things and participate, but if you can and you want to, there's nothing like it. Don't have second thoughts. But if you want to generally participate in this event, socialize, make sure you meet with like-minded people, discuss ideas, translate your ideas into, that's something that happens very common in Bangalore. I don't know how many of you are here in Bangalore, but if you go to coffee shops, I do that myself. Yesterday I was in a coffee shop with a she's a fresh graduate, 2 years in her experience, and she's an amazing software developer, and she's curious. All she said to me was, "Hey, she was in one of my tech talks, and she was like, I'm really interested in some of the things that you said. Can we connect?" And so on and so forth. And then there was a hackathon opportunity which I was really interested in, but I didn't have the time to put the things together. So I just forwarded it to her and say, hey, are you interested? Can we connect? She's from Kolkata. She just landed here. And she was like, okay, yeah, let's do that. And we met up over Pani Puri or coffee here in Bangalore yesterday. And we were just discussing those ideas. And now we are set. We know what the team is. We know what we're going to do for the hackathon. I mean, what is the idea that we want to work on and what are the technologies we are going to do. So this is just from a software centric world, but it could be anything. Your idea, you just need to network, you just need to write, you just need the right people. Because I am from the databases world, I always think in a certain way. I always think I could be wrong, but I always think that you cannot do anything without data these days. Like you need data. Data is the heart of anything that you do, whether you're an instrumentation in personality or you're an engineer who's doing automation for cars or whatever it is. You need data. So that's something that I believe in. You can prove me wrong, but I'm open to that. But I would like to think that at least. So for me, I always think in that way. So pardon me if some of the things that I speak about today is not reaching you, but that is just something that I'm comfortable with. That's why I'm taking that as an example. But feel free to apply these concepts to your area of interest or area of applications as well, or work as well. So discuss your ideas and doubts. This can be whatever, like yesterday I said, right? We were discussing the ideas, we were brainstorming whether we doubts could be like, can we do this? Can we go back and come up with something simple, an MVP? So do all those things. Think about networking as an opportunity to do something, not just like, okay, I want to talk to them. I'm not an extrovert. I cannot talk. No, you're going to talk to them because you want to achieve something and you cannot do it all by yourself. Of course, you need to create the opportunity for yourself, but that doesn't mean that you're all by yourself. I mean, I would think that you will be really slowed down if you think you have to do everything by yourself. No, socialize, believe that you're a leader and be that person I mean, be an influential or an impactful leader, whether it's at your work or it's in your ideas or whether it's in your personal life. Think of yourself as somebody who can take control of the situation just by being present, just by being conscious, just by being empathetic. I was recently listening to, I don't know where, I don't know if it was even a dream. I can't remember where I was listening to it, but somebody, if someone knows, just let me know. I was listening to something that you cannot lose an argument by, you cannot lose an argument or a fight or a discussion by being the person who is open and who is willing to hear or not hear, listen the other people, the other person's ideas and just being calm, just using a calmer tone, just choosing your voice or the tone of communication can make you win an argument. I don't know where I heard this, but I did. Anyway, I just wanted to share that. So think of that as part of your communication tool. Believe that you're a leader and act like one. Every single situation you go, a leader need not be just take this thought out of your mind that you need a title or you need to be authoritative. No, a leader need not have authority. A leader just needs to have the belief and consciousness, the empathy towards and the presence of mind towards the things that you're doing. So every single time you're communicating, every single opportunity you're networking, and every single problem you're solving, you know that there is an opportunity, and it is a situation. A non-judgmental, empathetic approach to the problem will inherently make you a leader. And my interesting part, which is care for data. Of course, I have a little bit of a story. Let me show you that. So I will ask a question here, okay? So this is Andrea Gassi and Boris Becker. I'm sure if you're a tennis fan, you would already know the story. So feel free. I don't mind if you know the answer, but I'm going to ask the question anyway. So initially, when they started playing against each other, Andrea Gassi lost 3 matches in a row against Boris Becker. And he was really worried. He went back and looked at the recording. He looked at what is it that Boris Becker is doing that he's not able to respond to, like because he lost because of his serves. What does he do that he cannot respond to, or that he cannot play against or win? So he was continuously looking at all of their matches again and again and again, and he also watched Boris Becker's previous matches even before that, and he tried to make some sense out of it, and finally he was able to. And once he got that, whatever the question that I'm going to ask you, once he got that dash, he was able to, that idea, let's say idea, he was able to win the next 9 out of 11 matches in a row. Andre Agassi won the 9 out of 11 matches that he played against Boris Becker. So the clue to this question is in this picture image that you're seeing. So if anyone wants to take us a quick guess at what the idea, what did he observe from the videos and the data that he watched against his matches with Boris Becker that made him change or transform the entire process for him and make him win the next 9 matches.
Learn from failures.
Sorry, come again?
Learn from his own failure.
No, no, no. What is it? This is a very specific question, objective. Like you have an answer to this from the image. It's not a it's not a subjective question.
Tricks,
Like
new tricks,
sorry,
tricks, new tricks, how they are using in his
what
play.
what tricks?
And confidence
Confidence.
in himself.
No, it's not. I'm telling you, there is the clue is in the picture. What did he observe in Boris Becker's videos or images that he identified from the data, or that he learned from historical data that he was able to apply in the future games and make sure he
Weak-
won the next 10 out of 11 matches?
Weaknesses,
What is the weakness?
maybe the points where it is difficult for Boris Becker to play
The other
certain tricks.
person perspective.
Try again. But you're close. I mean, yeah, weakness, but I wouldn't call it a weakness, but let's call it weakness for this discussion. It is right, but what is it?
I think it is the focus. If we can see the picture at the left side, I can see that the focus is missing at the first, and where this in second picture I can see it is like more focused towards the goal, as he is not looking at the ball which he has jumped that way. It might be the observation.
So the left picture is Andre Agassi and the right one is Boris Becker. So I'll give you the answer because just in the interest of time. So when he went back and looked at the videos of the matches that he'd lost against Boris Becker, what he observed is that Boris Becker had this body language where every time he was serving, if he was serving to the body, to the center, he would always keep his tongue out straight like this. And then if he's serving out wide to the sides, his tongue will be to that particular side where he is about to serve. So basically, he's just giving away. Boris Becker was just giving away where he's going to serve, which is like leaking a question paper before the exam, right? Service is the part where he was losing against Boris Becker. Andre
I
Agassi
was
was
right.
losing.
I just chatted. I was right.
Sorry.
I just assumed it. So I think I was right. I mentioned tongue. So whenever he had that bat, whichever side it was there, he was serving that side.
Exactly. So whichever side he was going to serve, it was going. He had his tongue stuck out in that particular side, or whatever whatever it took for Andre Agassi to learn his direction of serve. So that is what he used as his cue for the next to win the next 9 out of 11 matches. So when he addressed or when he revealed this secret in an interview, he said that the most difficult part for him was not to take the serve anymore because he was able to return his serve. But the most difficult part for Andre Agassi was to hide the fact that he knows Boris Becker's trick, his stick with the tongue, not trick. Sorry, he didn't know that he was doing it. He was doing it as a body language thing. So whatever we called weakness was this that inadvertently his body has this thing that his tongue was out, and that is something that Agassi observed and he used it in his game. But the difficult part for him was to hide the fact that he knows this tick that that Boris Becker had, because he didn't want Boris Becker to stop doing that. Otherwise, he might not have the cue going forward. He wanted his tongue to keep coming out. So that is exactly the point I was trying to make here is care for data. No matter who you are. See, this is about tennis, right? It's not technical. It's not a software engineering problem. It was not a teaching problem. It was not a rocket science problem. It's sports, which is its own field in itself. And still, Agassi is known to use data to his strength in order to win games, in order to be on top. So that is exactly what I wanted to communicate: is that no matter what you're trying to do, not believe in data, use data for your strengths. Research your opportunities and interests. Research the problem that you're solving. Look at what is out there. Look at the data, or in some cases that could be your solution itself. Use data to your solution. Like in yesterday's discussion with my with the person that I told you about. So we were talking about solutions, but ultimately, yes, she's an application developer, so she starts thinking in a certain way. But then, hey, wait, there is probably data from John Hopkins University or all the other publicly available information that's out there. Maybe we can use that in order to do our research to prove our point, and then to also make sure that our solution is 60 to 70% covered by the data that is already out there. So that was really cool, and that transformed so much of our outlines or dotted outlines or dotted agenda into an actual implementation plan itself. So that's why I'm saying use data to your strength, follow the data trail to see where your solution is going, and also do design thinking. When you're using data, already start thinking about, okay, how I'm going to do this. If you're an entrepreneur, what kind of a team should I have? Like, should I have one developer who can do all these pieces together for me, because I don't have so much budget, I have to get this thing done, and eventually as I grow, I'll have a center of excellence, I'll have an application team, I'll have an engineering team. So think in those lines. That's what I call design thinking without getting to the details. I'll give you resources to where you can read about technology based design thinking and all that. But yeah, that's one of the things I wanted to talk about. And the next one is we did all this. The last topic, which is opportunities in cloud, particularly Google Cloud. So like I've been like I've been telling you from the beginning of the session, like whether you are an entrepreneur or you want to be an entrepreneur, or you are an enthusiast who just likes technology, but you're in some other field entirely altogether, or you're an application developer or a data engineer, data analyst, business analyst who doesn't care about the technology but cares about business decisions, wants to make money for the organization by looking at certain things that can be tweaked, being the business business analyst expert for your organization, or you're an integration engineer in the software world, or you're a marketing analyst, sales expert, or if you're in customer experience who wants to make sure your customer feels like you're treated in like they get consistent treatment, or they get the right solutions in right time, whether the SLAs are met. No matter who you are, or there's so many other fields, I couldn't list so many in the slide. Uh, I just listed the top few things that I could think of, not top few things out there. These are not the top few things. I'm saying these are the top things in my head, in my small head, that I can come up with. So that's why I've listed these. But there are so many wonderful things out there, no matter who or what your area of interest is. There are so many possibilities with Google
बघ
Cloud.
नेक्स्ट वीक मध्ये ना स्वप्नील जवळजवळ तुझे 20 ते 25 युजर्स येणार आहेत बॅक ऑफिसला, तर त्यांना लॅपटॉप द्यायचे. हो तर तर तेवढं स्टॉक ठेव, म्हणजे 25चं टार्गेट ठेव तू, तिकडे असायला हवेत म्हणा
Thank you for
मंगळवार
that.
बुधवारपर्यंत.
I will wind up soon. Anyway, so I'm not going to go into the details of Google Cloud technology and how to implement or how to get started and all, but I leave you with a few links. For example, there are let's take the example of a business analyst who wants to make business decisions, or a business leader who wants to make business decisions for your organization that will change the way they are impacting the world, or that will change the way the world is responding to them, whether it is in terms of engagement to your product, with your product, or it's in terms of return of investment, or it's in terms of revenue. So you're a business analyst expert who wants to make such decisions, and you don't know technology, but you still want to contribute. You have 4 team members who are data analysts, who look at the data, who can write SQLs, but they cannot write code. But you are so aspiring to do something different and make a difference. Now, what can you do? You have people, you have a team who can do queries, who can do analyze data in form of SQL queries, do database. So Google Cloud has something in BigQuery analytics which will help you do predictions using machine learning, whether it is auto ML or manual ML. It will allow you to do predictions, whether it is linear regression or something that you're predicting what it will be, or whether it will be A or B, whether it will be a success or fail, or what your revenue will be 3 months down the line, or what your top failures are going to be 6 months down the line. It is important to know about your failures in advance, so at least you can get some prescription done, right? I'm just saying. So all those things you can accomplish using BigQuery ML without having to write any Python code or any language for that matter, and just using SQL queries. You have the option to do ML models, or create ML models using just SQL queries. 3 select statements and 2 create statements, and that's it. And this is just one example. I'm just taking this as an example because I don't want to be too software engineering technical side, or I don't want to go so much into the business side. I just wanted to give you something that will touch both the worlds, or touch everything around that will help you convert your idea into an application. So think about things like that. Whatever you can think about, whether you're an application developer wanting to deploy your application serverless 100%, or you want to do something in under 2 minutes and you don't want to maintain scalability, or you don't want to do monitoring and all that, then there is Cloud Run, Google Cloud Run. There's cloud monitoring, which brings together a lot of services that you're working on using a concept called groups, and you can monitor all of them in one place in a single pane glass of view, called cloud monitoring groups, where all your services, whether it's database, application, whether it is what is that, ML model, or whatever it is service that you're using, all of them can be monitored in one place. So that is not something that's not traditional, right? That's new. That's outside the box thinking. All that can be accomplished with Google Cloud. So just, and Vertex AI is there. No code, no SQL, nothing at all. If you just have an Excel sheet, or just have a file of data, or just videos, like Boris Becker did. Now he just has to upload those videos in Google Cloud, because probably when he did this so many decades ago, he looked at the videos himself in VCR, and then, okay, just sit with the remote control, close it to the TV and monitor that. But now he can just upload them in Vertex AI, Google Cloud Video AI. And he can get auto ML done without doing anything with technology, right? Because we have without having to write codes. I mean, you have to do everything with technology, but without having to write code, to be specific. So he can just upload that and use Vertex AI's auto ML to create his model, deploy the model, and then have an application built using a software engineer, or just have use Google Cloud Console to see the results. Right, so that is something that's an interesting area for people to learn and innovate on. So check it out. All you have to do is go to cloud.google.com and go to console, and everybody gets $300 free credits that you can use for playing around with some of the Google Cloud services. Remember that your $300 services, remember to do a pricing calculator to see when you need to switch on and off certain services, or when you need to what you need to use and what you want to play around with. So choose wisely and use that for your learning. And the second link is a link to certification. So the first batch for Google Cloud certification has already started in September. I think this is the information that I got from the certifications team. Exclusively for this meeting, I got that, because the second batch is going to start in October, mid-October. So maybe you can use this link to RSVP. You will probably be introduced into different tracks. If you're a business analyst, or if you're a data scientist, data analyst, data engineer, if you're a machine learning engineer, or if you're a software developer or software engineer, what are the different tracks there are and which one you can choose. So all that is there. So RSVP, they'll reach out to you. The third link is Community GDG. If you're interested in joining Google Developers Group, if you want to talk about development technologies and being hands-on, you can sign up to be part of the Google Developer Group in whichever city you are in. The last one is just some of the career opportunities with Google Cloud. That was a blog published by a Googler from UK. I just found that intriguing, so check that out. And if you're interested in connecting with me, this has you can scan this QR code or directly use this link, sites.google.com/view/Abhirami Sukumaran, Abhi without a H. I have ABIRAMI SUKUMARAN. So that is you can scan this QR code. It'll land you on my site, and that has links to all my socials, my LinkedIn, Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, and Meetup group link. So the reason I'm talking to you about Meetup group is this. I use this group to discuss technology. So every 2 weeks or every month, once a month. It's not actually based on any particular cadence. Every time there is an interesting event that I could think of, I schedule a meeting. It's frequent. It's not like it won't go past like a month without any event or so. So definitely we'll have once every week or once every 2 weeks. We'll have events conducted. There can be speakers. If one of you is interested in talking about something that you like, whether it's entrepreneurial or whether it's data related or whether it is technology related, Google Cloud related, or any cloud related for that matter, feel free to sign up. We talk about stuff using data. It's called Datapreneur Social, the Meetup group. You have to install the app, I think, in your mobile phone, but the link is right here. And some of the blogs on the things that I spoke about today, data modeling basics, the design thinking one, and all of the Google Cloud databases are listed here. And some of my other topics around serverless, engagement strategy with data and analytics. Like if you're an entrepreneur and you're willing to start a tech company based on data, or if you're a VP or a director in your organization, you want to start a data center of excellence, or you want to set up strategy for your business, just go ahead and take a look at what is there in engagement strategy. But if you're interested, yeah, all these blogs are available for you on my site. So that's about it. I'll pause here, or I'll stop here, and I'm open for questions. Thank you for this opportunity again. That was my last slide. Thank you. Questions? Can you still hear me?
Yes.
Everybody?
If anybody has any questions, please feel free to ask questions. You can unmute yourself and ask questions, or else you can also use the chat box.
Oh, somebody pinged tongue. I see the answers right now. So sorry, I ignored the chat messages before because I was in other tab. I see somebody has answered a few times. Thank you for that, Nita. You got the answer, the tongue. And Orko Orko, I'm sure I'm pronouncing her name wrong again, but she's the one that I was talking about, who I met with yesterday for the hackathon. Thank you for joining today, Orko. This is amazing. Thank you. Links in the chat. Yes, I will do that. I have shared my link first, Prabhakar. So that is a link to my site. I'll also give the links to the chat. Sorry that I forgot to do that. Yes. Sorry, all the links to the Google Cloud related topics that I spoke today, I'll bring in the chat right now.
I have a very basic question.
Yes.
That is, so if you are interested multiple things, like in, say, for example, in technology, maybe I want to learn a new framework, maybe I want to learn about cloud, about machine learning, and multiple things. And and it becomes hard to like pick one thing at a time and go with it. So then in that case, how do we plan our learning?
So the way I would do it is, first of all, if I think what I'd start with what my interests are. Everything will be intriguing, of course, because when it comes to cloud, it's about getting things done easily. It's about getting things done without so much of being an expert. I'm not belittling the expertise or the knowledge that the cloud practitioners already have. But I'm just saying it's easier than it used to be. That is why people love cloud, and that is why technologists love cloud, and that is why entrepreneurs love cloud, because they can get things done quickly. Like you don't have to maintain a server, you can deploy things on serverless technologies like Cloud Run and all. So basically what I would ask myself is, what is my area of interest? For example, I would want to do machine learning track because I want to do it. I want to learn NLP. I want to solve a problem. I want to attain world peace, for example. Now, how will I do that? I have to do some NLP related training. So I'll look at that and see MLP related training. I'll look at the topics. It's too detailed. Do I have the time to go through such level of detail when I'm already doing a full-time job? I'll think about it. Maybe if it's not for me, I'll do the other one, which is the data science track, for example. That may be a little bit one level higher, which is a little bit of an overview. So I'll probably start doing that. And then maybe when I get a comfort point where I can say, okay, I understand the topics without spending so much time in the basics. Now I can do machine learning. So that's how I would look at things. Like for example, but what you said is, I am an application developer and I'm interested in both. I would say, what is the idea that you have right now that you want to get out of your head, that you want to implement? If it is around applications, go do that. Don't just do it because you're already stuck with it. Don't do it for that. Do it because you have an idea that you cannot go to bed with, that you cannot sleep with. It just has to come out of your mind, but you don't know how to solve it. Then choose that as your track to begin with. If you have nothing like that, do the generic cloud track, and once you're going through the entire cloud track, you will know which one uh, triggers your interest, and then you can do that specialized one. There is a generic cloud track as well. So does that help?
Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome. How can we start as a cloud practitioner? Harshita. Harshita, are you already a professional, like you're a student, or you're currently in cloud? What is it? You're not in cloud because that's why you're asking this question. Are you currently a software developer or
Yes,
some
I'm
doing
a software developer and I'm working as a Moon Stack developer at
MERN stack?
Associate.
Okay. So see, for you, I would give because you're a MERN stack developer already, you want to start as a cloud practitioner, go to my the site that I gave you, right? My link, sites.google.com/view/Abhinami Sukumaran. So if you go to that blog section towards the end, there is one blog that I've written about in collaboration with somebody from MongoDB. So we both worked on that experiment. It's about how to go 100% serverless with mean stack application. So you can just write your own application instead of mean. You can use instead of Angular application, you can use your React.js application. But that will help you start as a cloud practitioner. I'm not going to say go to docs.cloud.google.com and then start learning. No, just go ahead and follow that step by step. You're already a cloud practitioner. It has steps to say how to create your own project, how to create an instance in cloud and MongoDB instance in cloud, MongoDB Atlas on Google Cloud is also available. So how to create that. So all those steps are there. Just follow that. You're already a cloud practitioner, and then you're on your own. Does that help?
Yeah, thanks a lot.
You're welcome. Application developer, React, startup, Google as a software engineer. And mind map for achieving it. Mind map for achieving it is a good question. So I would say set aside. So if you want to get into any of the technical roles or in the engineering ladder or in the product ladder for Google Cloud, sorry, or for Google. Oh, the miss, yeah. You will have to learn data structures and algorithms for sure, no matter where you are or how senior you are in your career or whatever role you're in. You'll definitely have to do data structures and algorithms programming. So do a lot of competitive programming, HackerRank, Lead Code and HackerRank, but there are a lot of other things like YouTube material where you can learn about design, application design. I spent about a whole month without without even, like, I wouldn't even go to sleep when I prepared for Google interview. Actually, I would be coding round the clock. I would not know when I'm sleeping. I'm not saying that's healthy, but I'm just saying I was just interested. That's why I did it. Otherwise, I would not. Learn, and on top of that, learn how to approach the interview, because this is not my first attempt that I cracked Google interview. It was my third attempt. Every 5 years, I used to interview for Google. The thing is, the first two times I practiced programming and all that, and even first two times I did not even practice. I thought I can do it because I'm a software engineer, like, and I did. I was able to solve the coding problem, but I did not know how to communicate while I was coding. So doing conversational coding, how to approach the problem, because the interviewers are not going to eat you up in the interview, right? They are going to be very supportive. They are going to be there for you and will definitely not make you feel alone or feel alienated in the process. But how to take that, how to grab that opportunity, and how to inherit that in your thinking, talking, and not talking, communicating and coding process is something that you need to master. Use whiteboards when you're practicing for Google interviews. That will help, because when you're using IDEs, it's not helpful when it's so different. The first two times, that's another mistake I did. I did not practice on whiteboard. I always practiced on IDEs, and that ended up being a problem for me to do conversational coding. So some of the things that you should keep in mind when you're preparing. Did that help, Srinidhi? Are you there, Srinidhi? You can pay. Okay, yeah, thank you. I'll work on it. Got it. So we have answered all the questions. What are the native data services that Google Cloud offers? There is a lot. What do you mean by data services? There is databases, there is big data related, like data pipeline, workflow related ones. There is transform ETL related data services. There is ML related data services, data science related data services, which is the subset of one is a subset of the other. And there is storage related data services. So there are many. Again, my blog, the first one, data best practices and design, database design. So you can look that up. Relational support is non-relation. Exactly. So there is Cloud SQL, Cloud Spanner, there is Cloud Bigtable, there is Cloud Firestore, Firebase, and then there is Cloud Storage, MongoDB support, MongoDB Atlas on Google Cloud. There is Prometheus on Google Cloud. So all these are available. BigQuery is something that's both relational. You can do transactional and also analytical. It's predominantly used for analytical use cases, but doesn't mean you cannot use it for relational. So BigQuery is something that's really very close to my heart, because you not only can do databases with it, data warehousing with it, you can also do analytics with it, you can also do machine learning with it. Like I said, no code, just SQL only machine learning. There is a blog in my website which will step by step take you through the process of doing that, process of creating your own machine learning model without writing much of a code other than SQL. So you can learn that from my blogs if you're interested. Did that help you, Rajendra? Cool. Any more questions?
Hi, Abhirami. Yeah, I have one question. So basically, I was just wondering about the openings which comes up with the Google Cloud. And basically, I'm belonging from the cloud environment, as well as I'm a DevOps engineer. So I was wondering about the openings which usually Google have. So if someone is a DevOps engineer and had around 7-8 year experience, where do you find any position on which someone can work with Google? Because I have, honestly speaking, I did not find any position which suits the profile if someone is, want to proceed with Google further.
So, see, honestly,
Yeah.
yeah, go ahead.
Uh, the list of opportunities which you have shared in the slide as well, that is also something which I have observed in the openings, but I did not find any match with the, with my current profile.
No. The one that I showed in the slide is not list of opportunities. In list of opportunities that there are. Yeah, that's not what I meant. I meant no matter what you are in that ladder or what you are in that list, you have opportunities to build on top of that, to grow yourself, to grow your career, or to
Yes.
grow. That's what I meant.
Yeah.
But I get your question. So honestly, see, I would not be the right person to answer a job role or a path related question. I can tell you, if you're in a certain, like, if you ask me about like what you said right now, right? You are in DevOps, and you are interested in being on cloud and you want to align yourself. There will definitely be opportunities. You could be, see, I don't want to say something that is wrong. So that is the main reason I'm restricting myself from answering this question. Just go to careers.google.com page. You will see different family of things. But what you can generally look at is, depending on what your not capacity, what is that, what your interests are, and what your for example, you will know, like, I would like to travel, or I cannot travel, or I like to do coding jobs, or I would like to do DevOps jobs. Even within DevOps, like if there is teaching or learning opportunities, can I take that up? So just look at opportunities like that. It cannot be like the titles in Google might be different from the titles you might have seen in your current organization or elsewhere. So definitely come up with what will be close enough to your interests and your possibilities. Meaning, for example, the reason I keep saying capacity or possibility is, like, I just spoke to someone yesterday who was traveling a lot for work, and they were feeling really tired and burnt out. Even though they like what they're doing, it's not really something that they feel that they want to do at this point. So that kind of thing. So answer those questions for yourself and look at certain opportunities that are available out there, and you can go to LinkedIn, find out recruiters, and if they are reaching out to you, great, you can ask these questions to them. If not, find a recruiter in Google and reach and talk to them. Some may respond. You will have to try a few times before you find that absolutely apt answer for you, but you will have to take the chance anyway. Again, be a people magnet, right? Like, you can ask question and not come out of as a annoyance or something like that. But asking software engineers or asking people randomly on LinkedIn is not going to help. Like, for instance, I can only direct you to certain links and pages, but I'm not authorized or not equipped enough to answer that question. But a recruiter will most certainly be. So just talk to them. In my experience, if you ask me, seems like you have you have DevOps experience and it seems like you want to bring that together on cloud and you want to be a cloud practitioner. If becoming a developer is not a problem for you, start looking at opportunities on that front as well. But if you see yourself sticking to DevOps and that is something that really interests you, then I'd say look for opportunities. Like there are so many. How can you club that with something else? Like, can I be a customer facing person with the experience of DevOps? Can I be a marketing person with the experience of DevOps? Or can I be a software engineer who wants to do coding now? And I mean, who wants to focus on the application itself or stuff like that.
Okay. Yeah. Got the answer. Thank you.
You're
All
welcome.
right. Thank you so much, Abhirami. Now, thank you so much for taking such a wonderful session. And I hope both Rujita's session and your session was much useful to all of our audience. And if anybody of you have any other questions, please feel free to reach out to Abhirami or Rujita on LinkedIn and the links that Abhirami shared, and you can ask your questions over there. So thank you so much, everybody, for joining. And we'll be sharing a feedback link with all of you. Make sure you fill up your genuine feedback about this session. And let us know the next topics that you would like to attend as a part of this Technology Meetup India. If you're not still a part of the Technology Meetup India group, make sure to be a part of that so that you will get notified for all the next events or next sessions that we are going to have. So thank you so much once again, and see you next time in the session.